Noah, 5 minutes, just 5 minutes. Noah, 5 minutes, just 5 minutes.
Weird.
I mean, Noah can help.
Yeah, sure.
All right, Noah, Noah, will you come here for a second? Amy's not here.
Hi, how are you? I'm Dina.
Noah.
Good to meet you.
She's not
I'm part of our executive director. Any idea why this is not
No, only
like
it
which
doesn't
thing? Yeah, why is that so crooked? And which thing do I need to address?
Feels like it could be.
So for
It's
you,
definitely a little loose. There's something that screws on.
I was wondering if that's how you have to put it, maybe you could lower this leg. So it gets a little moving or something.
oh, but that one is probably this one.
I'm not sure.
Well, that one should push that down.
So, yeah, but then
So I apologize for being a little
Oh.
intense, but I created a list of photos we would love to have.
Okay, awesome.
In particular, photos of every table, not too awkward, but if you can get them to group together, that would be great.
Like looking at my camera, not like.
Some of both would be great.
Yeah.
We will have awards being given where Shem-Tov award winners are called. up
Tracy,
to
do you
the
wanna-
stage, They get a plaque,
Okay.
they shake hands with the era.
that seems
You need individual
relatively.
photos of receiving their award. And then
even.
once they've all received,
Yeah.
it, we'll stage
Uh,
one with
The
all.
logos just a little.
Everyone.
Okay.
Okay, whoever you want them is, you give them.
Okay,
directions.
just don't touch that.
That's the
We're
old lady
also
somewhere
coming out,
here.
probably at the end of the night, a full photo of our
I need to
board
make sure that.
with
that
and without DDT. And then maybe a group photo of all. I guess this is more suggested. The rest of it is more suggestive, but you can look over it and see what you think. I was just trying to make sure that I covered the things that I normally. look
All
for.
this like.
Gold is
that.
must have, the rest are suggested. One thing that's a little weird that I'm asking, it's just the photos of the room set up.
Yeah, yeah.
All the food, because I use it for guidance. and all of it.
Yeah, no, I can do that. General event coverage, yeah.
Board members should have tags like Eric's
Uh-huh.
with like a blue thing that says board.
Uh-huh.
So I do want to make sure that I have.
Some do and some don't, but they will also, if they don't, they will say board member. On
Okay.
it.
We tend to use that. in our materials. So anything we can have a board doing.
Just like kind of close ups. Even.
Yeah.
Maybe,
Yeah.
Okay.
If you need, these are the speakers, if you'd like introductions to anybody beforehand, just so you know who you're looking for,
And-
or just when they're up.
Are they just gonna be like on?
Yeah.
Oh, so
So
obviously I know Tracy,
yeah,
so I'll just be like, all right, anyone will pick it.
this is just for your reference. This is the Shem-Tov award winners in order that they'll be pulling up. I don't know if you really need that, but I just gave you a copy while I was
Okay.
printing them out. This is our run of show. It's a little different than the agenda in that it's just a lot more detailed. So anything you need to know about the, like, what's happening, in what order, that's sort of a full lunch.
Okay, cool,
So that's all for you to have.
awesome.
you have any questions.
The Hampshire winners here, and then these are the names.
Yep.
Okay, and then when I'm taking pictures of like speakers or for like the awards, is there like a certain like how?
So they're gonna be coming up along this side,
Yeah,
receiving their plaque from Eric and shaking his hand sort of in the middle of the stage.
okay.
I will be at the podium reading their names.
So I'm thinking, like, how in a way can it be?
Anywhere you want.
Okay, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Yes, you want the shot.
Yeah, just don't trip over the video game.
Okay,
The
cool.
more photos, the
Well,
better.
will I have to like communicate, or they're just gonna be like,
No.
they're just gonna know, like, oh,
Please look at the photographer's
yeah.
phone. When you- Yeah.
Point, yeah, okay.
Relatively obvious, but
Yeah, yeah,
For the previous annual meeting. I think people will sort of expect.
okay, yeah, yeah.
Um,
The comment.
well. See, the goal was to stay. Seats.
Okay,
Oh, you want them to take it up here?
Um,
It's not easy. to have them put them down the seat.
Yeah, that's fine, wherever, yeah, that's fine.
Be prepared, some of them are older, so talk to them.
okay,
Or just think to mine on.
okay, gotcha.
Awesome, so this looks better.
Right where it needs to be,
Why is it not?
but it's not really focused.
Oh, is it that loose?
Yeah, it's not, I don't know how to tighten it. It looks like if you have a screwdriver or something, you should. be able to
Oh,
tighten that piece,
interesting. Okay,
But I don't see a obvious way to tighten that.
weird. I'm more concerned about it being blurry.
So when Tracy was up here.
Oh, I see. You know what? I bet I have the
Might
background.
be a-
muted.
Yes, or something.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Gina.
Yeah, thank
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a focus issue. Yeah, it's a focus issue. It's a focus issue. Yeah, it's a focus
Normally,
issue.
I have it all taped to the floor.
Yeah, it's a focus issue. No, it's not, so.
We can remove that chair.
It's a
We
focus
are low on
issue.
chairs.
Normally, I have.
No, we're not low on chairs. We have a chair.
Slow in spaces.
Normally, I have it all taped to the floor.
No, you know what?
We can use that as a chair. We are low on chairs.
Normally, I have.
No, we're not low on chairs. We have
Tiny
a
bit,
chair.
yeah.
We can remove that chair. We are low on chairs.
Normally, I have.
No, we're not low on chairs. We have a chair.
Yeah, do you know why you had it so far away?
We are low on chairs. No, we're not low on chairs. We have
Tiny
a
bit,
chair.
yeah.
We can use that as a chair. We are low on chairs.
Normally, I have.
No, we're not low on chairs. We
Tiny
have a
bit,
chair.
yeah.
Yeah, do you know why you had it so far away? We are low on chairs. No, we're not low on chairs. No, we're not low on chairs.
Tiny bit, yeah.
Why you had it so far away? We are low on chairs.
Normally, I have.
No, we're not low on chairs.
Tiny bit, yeah.
Do you know why you had it so far away? We are low on chairs.
Normally, I have.
No, we're not low on chairs. No, we're not low on chairs.
Why you had it so far away?
We are low on chairs. No, we're not low on chairs.
Tiny bit, yeah.
Do you know why you had it so far away? We are low on chairs.
Normally, I have.
No, we're not low on chairs.
Tiny bit, yeah.
Do you know why you had it so far away? We are low on chairs. No, we're not low on chairs. No, we're not low on chairs.
Tiny bit, yeah.
Why you had it so far away? Testing.
it has to pick it up through here because I don't have an audio. feed. Okay. All right, so we'll just leave that. I think for now I will mute us. All right, so we'll just leave that. Has to pick it up through here. I think for now I will mute us. Okay. I think for now I will mute us. All right, so we'll just leave that. Has to pick it up through here. I think for now I will mute us. Okay. All right, so we'll just leave that. Has to pick it up through here. I think for now I will mute us. Okay. All right, so we'll just leave that. Has to pick it up. For now I will mute us. Okay. All right, so we'll just leave that. Has to pick it up through here. I think for now I will mute us. Okay. All right, so we'll just leave that. So we'll just leave that. I think for now I will mute us. Okay. All right, so we'll just leave that. Has to pick it up. For now I will mute us. Okay. All right, so we'll just leave that. So we'll just leave that. I think for now I will mute us. Okay. All right, so we'll just leave. All right, so we'll just leave that. I think for now I will mute us. Okay. All right, so we'll just leave that. So we'll just leave it for now. I think for now I will mute us. Okay. All right, so we'll just leave. All right, so we'll just leave that. I think for now I will mute us. All right, so we'll just leave. All right, so we'll just leave that. I think for now I will mute us. Okay. All right, so we'll just leave that. So we'll just leave that. I think for now I will mute us. Okay. All right, so we'll just leave. All right, so we'll just leave that. I think for now I will mute us. Okay. All right, so we'll just leave that. So we'll just leave that. For now, I think for now I will mute us. Okay. All right, so we'll just leave. All right, so we'll just leave that. I think for now I will mute us. All right, so we'll just leave. All right, so we'll just leave that. I think for now I will mute us. Okay. All right, so we'll just leave. All right, so we'll just leave that. I think for now I will mute us. All right, so we'll just leave. All right, so we'll just leave that. I think for now I will mute us. All right, so we'll just leave. All right, so we'll just leave that. So we'll just leave that. For now, I will mute us. Okay. All right, so we'll just leave. All right, so we'll just leave that. I think for now I will mute us. All right, so we'll just leave. All right, so we'll just leave that. I think for now I will mute us. All right, so we'll just leave. All right, so we'll just leave that. For now, I think for now I will mute us. All right, so we'll just leave. All right, so we'll just leave that. I think for now I will mute us. All right, so we'll just leave. All right, so we'll just leave. All right, so we'll just leave that. For now I will mute us. All right, so we'll just leave. All right, so we'll just leave that. I think for now I will mute us. All right, so we'll just leave. All right, so we'll just leave that.
Coming to see, but unfortunately he's ill and couldn't come. So, I'm just scared to run back again. Is there anyone who wants to lead us? Any speakers in the group?
What? I don't know what's going on. I would just keep going.
Tonight, we are going to have a tour led by the newest.
No, but I don't know what the problem is.
Rabbi Bachman
It's picking up sound from
Central
I can't figure out what.
He is, he lives actually in Portland, Maine, but he's serving as their.
What is-
Rabbi Bachman
It's picking up sound from
Central
but I don't know what the problem is.
And
It's picking up sound from
but he's serving as
I can't figure out
their.
what.
It's picking up sound from
but I don't know what the problem is. It's picking up sound from but I don't know what the problem is. Picking up sound from
Thank you.
the notes when we were
That's
made the
okay.
music on
We
this.
don't need music. We'll just play it. It's okay. It's no big deal.
It's for the S1.
Huh?
It's for the S1 thing. I just need to take a 5-minute break. I think we can do is possibly turn the speakers down. Do you have your speaker up on yours? Yeah. Turn that down. That's muted. So we can- So what is it? So next time we use the share screen. The screen shares off. See, Zoom isn't picking up. There's lines falling off the podium. It's whenever the screen share goes off. Illumination issues. See the PowerPoint thing. That's what it says. So there's something
We can give you a little applause. Thank you all. All right, so now that we got that out of the way, which I was so excited to have them all tonight. But also, within departures, we have good news to share, and exciting things came out of Allison's departure. And we went through an exhaustive director search to replace Allison. And I'd like to the search committee that consisted of Pat Caleb, Rabbi John Spears-Yvette, Mary Shepler, Amy Lester, Rich Savoy, Jeremy Berger, and myself. After many meetings and interviews, we have people on Zoom. That's the reason you keep hearing feedback. So, but after we interviewed about a dozen candidates, we were so lucky because we found the perfect fit right in our own backyard. And that is our new executive director, Eric Martin, who comes to us from Portsmouth. And I am very pleased to now turn the meeting over to Eric.
Good evening, everyone. As Tracy mentioned, my name is Eric Martin. I am deeply humbled and prideful to apparently both at the same time to take on this role with the Federation, and I'm so incredibly thankful for everyone to come out tonight to honor Allison and all the work the Federation does. As Tracy mentioned, I live on the seacoast. My family and I live in Dover. For my last several years, I served as the head of school and family programming director for Temple Israel of Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Some people know that. And I want this, I'm told in the past, this is the part of the program where the director kind of gives a overview of the previous year. And unfortunately, I wasn't really here for the previous year. So I want to share with you some ideas and my vision going forward, what I think Federation can be forever. A lot of you who know me, probably mostly at that table, I know that I'm a self-described history nerd, a title I carry with pride. I usually get a few odd looks from some people when I say that, and it's usually the people who dozed off in high school social studies. Yeah, there's a few there. But when I say that I love history, I don't mean that I'm so really incredibly invested in dates and names, or that I'm obsessed with dry, boring classes. I mean, I love stories. And for me, I believe that stories are the heart of any community. I believe they connect us, they teach us, they remind us that we're part of something bigger than ourselves. Each of us carries our own story, stories of family and faith, of challenge, resilience, of Jewish pride. Federation's role, as I see it, is to bring those stories together, make sure every voice is heard, and to help us write a shared story of Jewish life here in New Hampshire. Interestingly enough, there's actually no word in Hebrew that translates directly to history. We kind of borrow that word in Hebrew from Greek and English. And ancient Jews understood that concept a little bit differently than I think we tend to today. It's usually used in their memory or chronicles when they speak of historical concepts in ancient Judaism. So for our ancestors, the path is where memory and personal experience come together. My vision for Federation is simple but ambitious. I want Federation to be the connector, conveyor, and the advocate for Jewish life and Jewish stories in every corner of our state. I want us to build on past successes. We're writing new chapters to ensure a vibrant, sustainable, and inclusive Jewish future here in New Hampshire. And every great story has themes that carry the like that. For us here at the Federation, the themes this year ahead are community connection, resilience, and Israel. These will guide how we shape the next chapters of Jewish life here in New Hampshire. Our story is first about connection. Federation's role is to bring together the many voices and experience of Jewish life across the state. This means deepening our presence from the largest cities to the smallest communities, and it means building stronger relationships with synagogues, organizations, and other local partners, while creating gatherings that weave our stories together, moments of celebration, prayer, learning, and joy that make us feel part of one extended Jewish family. Our story is always also about resilience. For generations, Jews have had to confront anti-Semitism. Here in New Hampshire, we'll ensure that our stories continue to be told with pride and without fear. That means equipping the next generation with knowledge and strength. It means forging relationships with officials and law enforcement so that when challenges arise, we stand together. On the local and national level, JFNH will be an unwavering voice for Jewish safety, dignity, and respect. And finally, our story is inseparable from Israel. The story of Israel is layered and deeply personal, but always essential to who we are as Jews. Our role is to create space for conversation and learning about Israel that is respectful and open to diverse perspectives, while also ensuring that the Federation continues to advocate for Israel, locally and nationally. Just as importantly, will help both Jewish and non-Jewish communities in New Hampshire better understand Israel's place in our shared narrative. Together, these themes, connection, resilience, and Israel, form the threads of the story that we're writing as a community. By listening deeply, honoring each voice, and lifting up our collective story, we'll ensure that Jewish life in New Hampshire is not only preserved, but continues to grow and flourish. And again, I'm deeply grateful for this opportunity to serve all of you in this role and to walk alongside you in writing the next chapter of our story together. This is just the beginning. Some of you have been here much longer than I have. And I look forward to learning, listening, and building with you all. Thank you very much. And with that, I'm going to introduce Jeremy Berger and our youth panel who come up next.
So my name is Jeremy Berger. I am the new incoming executive director of JFNH in New Hampshire. And it is my pleasure to be here in front of all of you. Originally, what we were planning on doing was a session with two different perspectives on visiting Israel, two different youth settings of Israel. One had been birthright, and someone else had attended the Alexander Muss School in Israel. They both were there during this last 6 months. Right, Casey came back in May. My daughter is one of them. I sent her over. Unfortunately, the person that was going to be talking about birthright came ill. The person that birthright became ill and was unable to make it this evening. My daughter happened to have two friends visiting from her Alexander Muss program this weekend, and they've been gracious enough to get on stage without knowing in advance at all. So I'd like to welcome Ariana, Allegra, and Ariel to the stage right now, and throw some questions at you about Muss going to Israel. Since Ariel's a little bit better equipped, I'll start with you, since you kind of heard some of these questions before. So, sure. Is this better? Oh my gosh, great. Okay, sorry, I was supposed to be sitting down originally, but a little longer. Let's start at the beginning. Ariel, what motivated you to go to a semester of Muss, right? Did anti-Semitism play a role? Is it something you've always wanted to do? How did you wind up there?
Do I get a bite?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm an incoming junior at the Dairyfield School back in Manchester, New Hampshire. I'm experiencing some blatant anti-Semitism in school curriculum. They wouldn't admit that they were actually being biased towards one side. Like when we were learning about imperialism and colonialism, there was no second side when we covered the Israel-Palestine. Before I went to Muss, there was something with one of my teachers, kind of with, and they taught us about bias. They taught us the bias information. So every time I kind of saw it, I just yelled it out to my parents. So I decided I have to go to Israel in hopes that I'd be able to like defend myself when I come back. And now I can do that. So.
I'm going to pose the same question to Ariana and Allegra. You both have come from very different perspectives, right? Why don't you both answer that question actually?
Well, hello, my name is Ariana. I'm from New York. I don't know any of you, but I'm so grateful to be here. I really decided that I needed to get out of the little Jewish private school that I had been going to my whole life and get into myself. because I go to a very pluralist school, and my school solution to pluralism is not teaching anything that could be considered, you know, politically biased at all. So it felt like I was only getting half the story and all these questions that I couldn't answer. And I decided I needed to get my feet on the ground and, you know, go to the Middle East and get answers myself. And must really do that. Games, ever since October 7th, I've been feeling helpless. I've been feeling like there's nothing I can do. I tried combating anti-Semitism online. I tried trying to teach my friends who didn't know what they were talking about, what was going on. But I didn't know enough about it myself. My rabbi had actually just, I go to it, and we had looked for a program and we found not. And it sounded great and it was great. And I learned a lot this year, and it helped me feel like I was doing something rather than just sitting and being helpless.
Allegra, I'd like to follow up on this. You went to Muss, before you went, what were your concerns? What were your thoughts? What were you thinking? Right? What was in your head as you were going? What were you concerned about?
To do something, and so learning was something that I could do because I enjoy learning a lot, especially about history, because that can tell you what is going on now. And I really want to educate people. I don't believe that people have bad, like not all the people who are saying stuff have bad in their hearts. I just believe they don't understand what they're talking about, especially the kids my age, who clearly just read stuff online, watched videos on TikTok, and they had no idea what was going on. So I wanted to learn in order to be able to tell them the truth and hopefully get them to understand there's different perspectives, and what they have been learning online isn't exactly the truth.
Ariel. So Ariel, what concerned you the most about going away? Were you concerned about missing academics in your school? Were you concerned about the school not supporting you when you went away? Were you concerned about the war? What were your concerns before you went away?
So before I went away, the main concern was probably my school supporting me, because like here they are giving us all this biased information literally laid out on a platter. And they're not doing anything to actually back me up when I try going up to them and like telling them this is wrong, you shouldn't be saying this. So I feel like that was one of the major concerns, but after they were supportive, I was a little, I guess I wasn't sure whether to go or not, because the war definitely had some factors with its ups and downs. But I managed to call one of my cousins that I'm like really close with, and seeing that she's okay, seeing that her whole family's okay, all my cousins are okay, everyone I know there's fine. They all pushed me to go, so I went. Best decision I made.
Answer that if you want, or give it a question.
Whatever's better.
Why don't you give it a question? So, Allegra, sorry, Ariana, why don't you tell me about your typical day at Muss? What was a day like? What did you experience? And what was some of the great experiences at Muss that really changed your life, and how did it change it?
Okay, so on Muss, we did a lot of trips. Like, I mean, it felt like I spent more time on the trip learning than I actually spent in the classroom learning. And I feel like that's how I ended up learning more instead of what was 4 months than I actually did sitting in the classroom for the first year. And one of the most informative experiences for me was actually leaving Poland. At Alexander Muss, they do a Poland trip halfway through the semester where they teach about the Holocaust, they take us to camps. But like one of the most deeply, I don't even know how to describe it, moments for me was when we were at the airport and we had been in Poland for 7 days. We were all exhausted. And from the time we left our restaurant to the time we got to the airport, we were singing, like not even just Jewish songs. I mean, we were singing "Let It Go." It's Poland. Okay, so airports in Poland are a little different from the airports here. We take a small shuttle that takes us right outside the airplane, we get on the airplane. As we were on the shuttle to get on our end flight, we were all singing on the circle sky, we were all dancing in the circle, bouncing down on the shuttle. And this Polish lady comes out and starts yelling at us. She worked for it. And I mean, I don't blame her. She's just trying to do her job. But it struck me then and there that she didn't get it. She didn't get what it was as a you to go to Poland to see what happened with your own eyes, and then to get to go back to Israel. And that moment fundamentally changed me. I mean, of course, as soon as she closed the doors, we started singing again.
Over to you. So how did the MUS program bring Jewish history to life for you?
I think a big part of it was going to the places where events happened. It's one thing, like Ariana said, to learn in class, but actually being in a place and getting to like imagine what was there and getting to like get a deeper understanding. Like, of course, I knew about Jewish history, but going to those places and kind of seeing it in my head, seeing how the stuff went down and being told in vivid description and a more advanced level than I've ever heard. And learning about things that I never got to learn about, or even in Hebrew school. And I took a lot of notes. My friend can attest to that. My notebook is not even filled, and I got a little bit sad about that. But I really think going those places and taking all those notes, getting to experience all these things, it really helped me. And I've had used some of the history to fight anti-Semitism online. I've used the history we learned. I've cited articles as well to back up my claims. It was great getting to learn this stuff and being able to be like, I understand what's going on.
So Ariel, how do you feel the MUS program is going to influence you when you go back to school now? What's going to change? How are you going to change? Are you going to be more active? What's your life going to look like now?
Now that I know all the stuff that I didn't know before, and I can easily identify the bias that they were teaching before, instead of going to my parents and highlighting it out to them to take it to the top, I'm gonna go straight to the top myself. I'm not gonna wait for them to move. And then aside from that, with my Jewish friend, or with my friends at school who just don't get it, I've actually, this past year, my friend and I have been starting a BBYO chapter here in New Hampshire, so that we can get other Jewish teens together, because going on MUS, we became a family almost immediately, and even here with the minimal Jewish friends I have, we're more like tight knit than the friends I've been going to school with for years.
Would either of you like to say about that? So that was really it. I wanted to thank our three panelists. Very last minute that came together, so I'm glad they all did perform. They all did great. Can you hear me? I also want to say, very importantly, that there are opportunities, there are grants, there's funding available through the Federation, right, for other students that want to go to programs like this, right? There are camp programs, there's Birthright, there's the Alexander Mud School, which we offer some special funding with as well. So please, if anybody, if any of your communities are interested in any of these programs, please reach out to the Federation. We will make it happen, right? It's key, it's important. I see the difference that it's made in my doorstep, right? It is huge. All of these programs are there and we have to take advantage. So please, if you know somebody, let us know. All right, so I get to go again. Lucky me. So I am the, as I said before, the incoming director, not director, chairman, president of the Federation. And I have some thoughts about how I kind of like to see us going in the next couple of years, where I'd like to see us be. You know, we've had a difficult couple of years since October 7th. It's been very, very rough. And we have a really divided community right now, right? There are many different viewpoints. So first, I just want to sincerely thank Allison. I want to thank Tracy for steering us through this really tumultuous and horrible time that we've been going through. It's been really rough for all of us, right? But especially leading an organization through all of this, very, very difficult. So please, one more time. October 7th was an event that caught Israel and our communities off guard. An event that has influenced and changed all of our lives. We pray for the safe return of our hostages, both living and dead, and pray for the safety of our men and women of the Israeli Defense Forces and for the safety of Israel, right? That's a given. Today's not about Israel, though. It's not about October 7th. Today is about the Jewish community of New Hampshire and the Jewish Federation of New Hampshire. Today is a moment of change. It's a reset. We begin with a new executive director, Eric Martin, a new board chair, a new board, new committees. It's really, we're starting over, right? It's incredible. It's also a chance to write the next chapter for our community. Let's be honest, though. We're stepping forward at a really challenging time. Anti-Semitism is rising. Anti-Israel hatred louder than ever. In New Hampshire, Jewish businesses and shuls have been attacked. We've experienced neo-Nazis marching in Congress. It's unreal. I mean, this is what we're dealing with on a day-to-day basis. And if you didn't know, behind the scenes, the Federation is dealing with this almost daily, right? You don't hear about a lot of what we're doing behind the scenes trying to deal with all these issues. On top of all this, on top of the external factors that we have, our own community feels divided when what we really need is to stand together. So the question is, how do we get to where we are, to where we need to be? The answer is really quite simple. Together. We have to do this together. Federation cannot go it alone. We need you. We need everybody in this room, every leader, every congregation, every volunteer. Join our committees on anti-Semitism, on Israel advocacy. Support the Jewish Film Festival, right? Attend our events. If no one attends the events, why do we put them on? Step up, get involved, be present. The more you participate, the more we can provide. This is your federation, it's not my federation, right? I do this as a lay leader. I do this because I really believe in it. And I do this because I think we can do so much more and we can grow and be so much better together. This is also the heart of our tradition, Tikkun Olam, repairing the world. Each act of service, each moment of engagement, each hand, as I'm switching my paper here, sorry. Each hand extended to another strengthens not only our federation, but our Jewish future here in New Hampshire. We already do some great things with this federation. Our PJ Library program for kids is thriving. Our senior programs are strong. In the last year, we've hosted some exceptional community programs. The Door by Door with our challah baking and Holocaust. Our Shlichim B'Madim program, which I'm sure a majority of you attended, right? Where we brought 2 representatives from the IDF to communities around New Hampshire. It was incredibly well attended. We had Shabbos Kestenbaum, who spoke on anti-Semitism at Harvard University. He's now becoming one of the top speakers around. We had our presentation with Dean Kamen and the Technion University, also attended by over 100 people. And most recently, we had Jewish Pride Night at the Fisher Cats. It's a very last-minute event, went very well, but last year we're going to include all the Jewish sleepaway camps in the state of New Hampshire and extend this to make it a much larger event. Right? Very, very, very excited about this. Very excited about the growth opportunities we have. But let me be clear. Our community needs more, right? You all want more, and we can do so much more. And I'm always told by everybody, it's a resource issue. We don't have the resources. We don't have the resources. I disagree with that. We have the resources. The resources are in this room. We can do whatever we want to do. Not having resources is an excuse. We're small, but we're mighty. And we've heard that from numerous other organizations that we've worked with over the last year that we're already punching above our weight. Damn, I don't like this paper. This year, we're gonna back some team-driven programming through BBYO. Our future depends on it. We're also launching a new speaker series. We're bringing conversations on Israel, Jewish values, and anti-Semitism to New Hampshire in partnership with our local communities. These are not events that the Federation should be putting on in a vacuum. These are events that should be done with the shuls, right? We need to partner with each other. We cannot afford to isolate our communities. We all have to work together. So, where does this go? I'm calling on every synagogue in our state to appoint one representative to work with us on joint programming, right? It's very important. The goal is simple: for the Federation to support your communities and help them grow. We're in this together, and we really want to work together. Looking outward, we're working with Leket, Israel's National Food Bank, the Ministry of Tourism, and the Jewish National Fund to promote volunteerism in Israel. This winter, we'll be presenting a program on volunteerism with speakers from these organizations. Please join us. The hope, after we do this, is to partner with our schools and sponsor a future New Hampshire mission to Israel. Please join us in this extraordinary opportunity. Through all of this, remember that the Federation is here for every Jew in New Hampshire. We are an apolitical organization. We walk a very fine line, but whether you lean left, right, you're part of the family. We don't care. Yes, these are difficult times. Jewish people, we face difficulty before. This is nothing new for us. We do not back down. We rise stronger and we spread light through the darkness. So I ask you, stand with us, work with us, build with us. Together through Tikkun Olam, we will ensure that the Jewish community of New Hampshire not only survives, but thrives. Thank you. I'm Israel Chai. And with that, it's my honor to introduce Harry Shepler.
It's so nice to see so many people here. I've been treasurer of the Federation for 6 years. And under the bylaws, after two consecutive 3-year terms, you have to leave the board. So this is my farewell speech as being treasurer of the Federation, which has been a joy to me. The last annual report is in the reporter, which is on your tables, if you want to see how we've done. And like every year, since my tenure, we've come in, it's a little bit in the black, but basically a balanced budget. And I give you a little bit of retrospective on me coming in very clueless about the financial workings of the Federation. I heard a lot about stories, but I wasn't a part of any of that. So I came in new and was presented with a budget that had been already approved by the board with a $20,000 deficit, and was handed to me. And I'm kind of a balanced budget sort of guy, and I was very disturbed to see that I was entering my first year as treasurer with an unbalanced budget, with a lot of luck. It's all luck, like no skill on my part. We actually came out with a balanced budget, and there was some turnover in our organization, and we had salaries we didn't have to pay, and that made up for the deficit, and we were okay. In my 6 years, our revenue has been about the same every year, around 600,000, just a little bit over 600,000. 1 year, the COVID year, the government of their largesse gave us $100,000. And so our budget blipped up a little bit more than normal that year, but guess what? We spent it all. So we still had a balanced budget. It's been fun working, trying to get a balanced budget each year and to fiscally manage the Federation as well as we can. I have to say that the work was easiest with Allison, who was a budget hawk. She watched every nickel that went out of the organization. And she's the reason that what we voted on as a balanced budget actually happened as a balanced budget. So Allison, thank you so much. The one thing that, about my tenure is over the 6 years that I've been treasurer, we've gone through 3 directors and 2 internal bookkeepers. So things are, like Jeremy said, things are all new. Well, they were all new almost every year. Working on things over my 6 years. But each year we worked, each year we did what we could. And each year we tried to make sure that all of the important things that the Federation does for the community happens. And, you know, one of the sad things we had to do was we, early on in my tenure, we closed the preschool. That's a tough thing that we did. We were, it was about a $60,000 deficit, and it was just something we couldn't handle. And so unfortunately it came to an end. I talked with Eric a couple of days ago from the Federation building, and he said that's something he'd love to have going again someday. I think that would be great if we could. But in general, the programs that are so important to our community continue to happen every year at the Federation. Somehow we find money. And as I mentioned, our revenue is flat over the 6 years of my term. However, expenses have gone down 21% over that 6 years. Okay, so we've been able to do more with less. And what's really important is that the revenue needs to go up. The only way that's going to happen is if we dig a little bit deeper into our pockets and make sure that it goes up. And I hope that each one of you, as Judith Jolkin comes up and talk to us, will give very careful consideration to helping us increase our revenues. But I want to say how much fun it is to be able to work with the Federation. It's a great organization, great people on the board, dedicated people. And in a way, I'm kind of sorry to have to be leaving. But you know, I'm going to get to be on the foundation committee as a trustee, so I'll still be very connected with the Federation. The job of the treasurer, where's Richard? Richard Lesavoy, would you stand up? He'll be taking over, and frankly, he's going to do a lot better job than I did. He taught me a few things already, so I think you're in really good hands. But the job of the treasurer of the Federation is interesting. One of the big things is preparing a budget for the board to approve and making sure all the pieces fit together. And then during the year, managing that budget to make sure that things are being spent the way they were planned and handling all the anomalies that come up that happen. Also, the auditors each year audit our books. And there are things that are involved in that audit that the treasurer must be involved in. Each year, we also produce what's called a 990, which is filed with the federal government. And the treasurer's job is to make sure that 990 is telling the truth to the federal government. And, you know, there's some big expenditures which the treasurer or one of the other officers has to spend. And generally, it is not as much work as it might sound, but it's very important to get done this. So it's with some nostalgia that I look back over these last 6 years, and I'm proud of what we've been able to do. Thank you. As I mentioned before, our next speaker is Judith Jolkin, who is our campaign chair.
I can't begin to tell you. I can't begin to tell any of you how wonderful to see so many people dedicated to the Jewish Federation of New Hampshire. This is wonderful, and I certainly hope you continue to be a part of the Federation. It is truly a privilege to stand before you as you are so dedicated and your passion is very high. You're committed to the Jewish Federation of New Hampshire to share our values and to share our mission. However, none of this would be possible without your support, and it is your contribution that expand our reach with so many different things. We could not do the things we do if we do not have the commitment from each and every one of you. So today I ask you to join me in making a difference. Whatever you can give will ensure that our Jewish community remains vibrant and create a future filled with hope and opportunity. Before you make your pledge, think for a few seconds or a minute. If you have thought about your contribution, I'm so very happy. And I'm so happy to see all of you committed. Before you make your pledge, take another moment to imagine the impact we can have from each one of us. Think about how your contribution, your investment will help support, educate, empower our community to strengthen our collective future. Our future depends upon you. We cannot do this without you. As Harry said, we do balance the budget every month, and it is wonderful to know that this year we went over what we were supposed to. So I'll thank you. It's you that did it. You are wonderful. And if you ever have any questions, I always free to answer. So in closing, I want to thank you for your dedication, your compassion, and your belief in the power of federation. We might be small, but our strength goes and goes and goes. So we care about that. We care about you. We want all of you to be on the committee. That's the most important thing. And in the board, these are all the people that are making the commitment. And those are people that we would love to be more active in the Federation and to get involved. I want to say that the power that we have, the Federation, is strength. If you don't have strength, you're not going to go anywhere. So we know what you do, how you do it, and we appreciate it so much. I want to thank you, I want to welcome Eric. Congratulations to to Jeremy. And always continue your dedication, your compassion, and your belief in the power of federation. Let us stand together. Let us make our passion for the community greater than it is today. The power of the Federation will always go on, I have no doubt. And I'm so happy Jeremy took this position. It's not an easy position. And I want to thank Tracy for everything she did for the Federation. It's important that we have a wonderful Jewish state, and we are here to help any of you. So in closing, I want to thank you for your dedication, number one, to the Jewish Federation of New Hampshire. Your compassion is in your heart. And I like to say, what is on your heart, you speak it. You don't have to. Let us stand together, united in our mission, and make this a day of community and generosity. Thank you.
Future, where Israel lives in peace with its neighbors. A culture free from darkness, hate, and intolerance. A society where everyone's basic needs are met. It's a vision fueled by the unwavering spirit of the Jewish people. Bound together by powerful and shared. Do it together. At one, we stand in solidarity with as one, we deliver one, we offer a helping hand to children we speak up to them to keep one, contact with eyes again comes to them. We protect us all in the whole and that's one.
If you're a Chateau winner, can you please come line up over here? And if you have a donation that you'd like to present, we have 2 generous volunteers collecting envelopes. Thank you so much.
All that.
My name is Tina Burke. I am the program coordinator for Jewish Federation of New Hampshire. It is my job to read the flyers that your synagogue submitted about our wonderful Shem Tov Award recipients. In the heart of every thriving community lies the unwavering dedication of its volunteers, the unsung heroes who selflessly contribute their time, talents, and boundless enthusiasm to ensure the smooth operation and flourishing of vital organizations. The Shem Tov Good Name Awards, a beacon of appreciation and recognition, stand as a testament to the invaluable role volunteers play in the vibrant tapestry of New Hampshire's Jewish community. Conceived by the Jewish Federation of New Hampshire, these awards shine a spotlight on those remarkable individuals who have devoted themselves to the betterment of our individual Jewish communities, allowing for a stronger Jewish New Hampshire. As we gather to celebrate these exceptional individuals and their contributions, we will honor our Shem Tov Award recipients in alphabetical order by synagogue. Each synagogue was invited to provide a summary of recognition to be shared at this annual meeting, and I will read those tributes as we call our honorees forward. I ask everyone to be quiet, please.
From Bethlehem Hebrew Congregation in Bethlehem, New Hampshire, we recognize Jackie Paxman. Editor of the School News, the congregation's weekly e-blast. She also brings people together as host of the White Mountain Jewish Film Festival patio parties and leads the popular summer Belgian Christ exercise series, both in person and on Zoom. Jackie helps maintain the BHC website with regular programming updates, and she is a year-round contributor to Zoom, Kabbalah, Shabbat services, and summer Kiddush. From the Chabad Center for Jewish Living in Manchester, New Hampshire, we recognize Janice Belmont. Chabad is blessed to have Janice Belmont as a valued member of our community. Janice has volunteered countless hours over the past 2 years as a teacher in our Hebrew school. More specifically, Janice is a master Hebrew reading teacher. She radiates warmth, patience, and exuberance, which allow our students to develop their Hebrew skills in tremendous ways. She has taken Chabad Hebrew School to new heights. From the congregation Ahavat Achim in Keene, New Hampshire, we recognize Vivian Prunier. We nominated Vivian for the Shem Tov Award because during her many years at CAA, she has served our congregation in several capacities. She is on the CAA board and serves as the recording secretary. In addition, Vivian is the chairperson of our Religious Practices Committee. Vivian and her husband Tom are frequent participants in our Shabbat and holiday services, where Vivian often volunteers to read from the Torah. From 8th Zion Synagogue in Derry, New Hampshire, we recognize Sarah Plater. In her life, Sarah, despite having limited time because she works a full-time job as a teacher and with her husband is raising 4 children, all of whom have fully participated in the Hebrew School program, she has also been able to epitomize Jewish life by actively participating in a variety of programs which directly help other people. Informed by her professional knowledge of education, for the past 10 years, Sarah has run the Sunday Camp program at 8th Zion Temple for children aged 4 to 6 years old. Since its inception, she has volunteered and worked hard at nearly every monthly Elijah's Table event, which furnishes a free meal to those who need it. Sarah has become an active member of the Education Committee at 8th Zion, contributing her professional knowledge to help guide the committee, and she will be acting as co-chair next year. She also actively participates in the Havarat Ezra Committee, which supports ill or injured community members with various services as needed. From Jewish Federation in New Hampshire, we recognize Amy Lester, even though she's not able to be with us tonight. I'm going to read her name. Amy Lester has been a dedicated and valued member of the Jewish Federation of New Hampshire board for the past 3 years. A committed volunteer, Amy has generously contributed her time, leadership, and passion to numerous key initiatives. She has served as chair of the Momentum Committee, the Strategic Planning Committee, and the Executive Director Search Committee, each role underscoring her deep commitment to the Federation's mission and future. Amy's thoughtful leadership and unwavering dedication have made a lasting impact on our organization and community. From Kol HaEmet, the Upper Valley Jewish community in Hanover, New Hampshire, we recognize Roberta Burnham. Roberta has served as president of our congregation for the past 2 years, keeping everyone feeling heard and included in a particularly tumultuous time in our world. She actively started our endowment fund and continues to build it to our goal. Roberta enthusiastically gives her time, having chaired the Caring and Festive Committee and also attending almost every UBJC meeting, social event, community event, service, funeral, etc. She maintains her calm demeanor, patience, thoughtfulness, and kindness to everyone she meets. And she makes coffee for every semester. From Temple Adopted Sharon in Manchester, New Hampshire. We have In 2021, as Temple Adopted Sharon was navigating the COVID-19 pandemic and trying to engage the congregation with original programming, Marilyn Kavanaugh and Pat Kalick decided to try something new, a current events discussion group. The goal was to foster meaningful conversation in a welcoming and respectful space, and to learn together and consider our role and responsibility as reflected in our Jewish teachings and traditions. That program, begun as a pandemic experiment, has since become an institution, celebrating its 4th anniversary this summer. The monthly Zoom discussions have covered international topics as wide-ranging as intra-Jewish conflict in Israeli society and the hunger crisis in Sudan, and domestic topics including book banning, how a bill becomes a law in New Hampshire, and the future of democracy, and have featured academics, elected officials, journalists, policy experts, and nonprofit leaders as guests. This program has not only engaged the TAY membership, but welcomed others from the Jewish community in Southern New Hampshire to engage thoughtfully with our community and with these vital topics. From Temple Beth Abraham in Nashua, New Hampshire. Both in the Beth Abraham Temple community and in the Nashua community. He chairs the security committee, secures volunteers, and books security guards for temple events. Leon regularly volunteers to make himself available during the Sunday education program and at other temple events, serving as one of the regular security volunteer monitors. Leon regularly volunteers at the Nashua Soup Kitchen to prepare and serve breakfast for clients, and he coordinates and supervises preparation and serving of Christmas Day dinner by TBA members. Leon has also chaired the membership committee in the past, remains active on the committee, and has helped attract new members by giving them tours of the facilities, describing our programs, and making them feel welcome. Leon helps with running events by doing schlepping and grunt work, much of the time behind the scenes without fanfare, and then therefore unbeknownst to other congregants. Temple Beth Jacob in Concord, New Hampshire. Ginsler is recognized for being warm and loving. She always makes a stranger feel welcome at TBJ. Alice takes an idea and runs with it to expand the activity and try to get more people involved. She is always willing to step up and help TBJ. From Temple B'nai Israel in Laconia, New Hampshire, we recognize Gloria and Irving are longtime active members of Temple B'nai Israel, volunteering for many committees, including cooking and serving at the New Hampshire Jewish Food Festival. Irving has served as financial secretary and trustee of the Reserve Fund, and Gloria has served as co-chair of the Adult Ed Committee. Irving's career was in academic medicine as well as industry at Biogen and Millennium Takeda, resulting in product approvals, which have improved thousands of lives. Gloria was a special education teacher and for the last 34 years, a gallery instructor and school group guide at the Museum of Fine Arts in Boston. They have both generously supported Jewish synagogues and organizations, with Irving being co-chair of the Maimonides Society, CJP's board of directors, and a valued community campaigner. He was honored as CJP Superstar in 2005 and 2011. From Temple Israel in Manchester. Joined Temple Israel just 5 years ago and has increased her commitment to the congregation and community every year. Her seemingly tireless commitment to the community has improved programming, membership, and general operations of the shul. She has volunteered to help run the Hebrew School, along with filling multiple roles on the board, including Executive VP, Membership Chair, and Fundraising Chair. Her commitment to weekends with PJ Library and Yom HaAtzmaut events has bettered the community in addition to our temple. Temple Israel is honored and fortunate to have her as a congregant, board member, master Kiddush chef, and friend. From Temple Israel in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Joyce is recognized as the protector of knowledge and tradition. She is the defender of every member, a lover of the Mai Tai, the sanctuary beautifier, brings a tear and a tissue, and the best ally a president could have. Congratulations to all our people.
Jumping together, we're gonna do a focus on the-
I'm going to take a few more photos and move on to election.
Thank you, congratulations to all our award winners. Moving right along. Moving right along, going to go into election of our incoming board members. Moving right along, we have one more piece of business. To elect our incoming board members. Our nominees for incoming board members this year are a one-year term. Please stand when I call your name. Our nominees for incoming board members for a one-year term, Jay Mathis. To myself. For a two-year term, Mara Friedman. For a three-year term, Becky Abrams. Gordon Bennett. Rita Taylors. David Stanley Plow. And Jane Taylor. If there's no objection, I'll instruct the secretary to cast one vote to elect the slate is presented by unanimous consent. So moved, passed. Seeing no objection, the motion's passed. Sorry, would all the board members and officers please stay? We need a quick board meeting, just to elect their incoming officers for next year. So please come up to the stage after the meeting.
Good evening, everybody. Yes, congratulations to the Sheffield Board winners this year, and thank you again to Allison for her years of dedication and her work. Allison, give us something about you. So just a reminder that board members should stay behind for a vote before to elect our incoming executive board for the year. This concludes the program, so everyone else is free to go except our board members. And thank you again for everything. Anyone here down, so donation for the communities, and everyone for what you do this evening.